Just yesterday, an Iranian Su-35, the most lethal jet Iran has ever put in the air, managed to take off during the first wave of US and Israeli strikes, went after a US F-22, locked onto it, and went full afterburner to intercept. What happened next is either the most embarrassing event in the history of Iranian aviation or the most precise military message the United States ever got in any conflict. Nobody agrees on which one. Almost nobody who was there is talking. The United States and Iran are trading punches, and Iran is losing. An unmanned surveillance drone went down over a U.S. aircraft carrier, but that is about it for U.S. losses. Iran is not winning this. Iran is not even looking at the scoreboard, too scared. But here is what nobody is saying out loud. Iran has stopped trying to win points. They are trying to send one message, one statement. USA, back off. Tonight, they think they found it. One radar operator in Bushehr gives the entire Iranian Air Force the excuse it has been looking for. He is running his standard evening scan when the contact materializes. Extremely small radar return, low observable profile, holding a fixed pattern about 40 miles outside Iranian airspace. He calls it in. His senior officer walks over, stares at the screen, goes very still. In 2026, that specific return belongs to one aircraft type, F-22 Raptor, alone, circling, like it is waiting for something. It dropped stealth for just a moment, like a mistake. Your brain is already asking the right question. Why is the most capable air superiority fighter in history visible at all? That question matters. Hold it. But hold this too. The F-22 does not make navigational mistakes. It does not accidentally become visible. If it is on that radar screen right now, there are only two possible explanations. Either it just malfunctioned, or it wants to be seen. Major Reza Karimi is the best pilot in the Iranian Air Force. His performance file says so. More importantly, Karimi tells himself this every morning without exception. He has over 600 hours in the Su-35. He knows every system, every limit. He has rehearsed in full mental HD exactly what he would do if he ever caught an American stealth aircraft in the open. Tonight, his phone rings. He does not walk to his jet. He runs like a man possessed. About this Su-35, Iran acquired these from Russia in 2025 after years of negotiations, whispered backroom arrangements, and straight-up begging. But the Su-35 is not a joke aircraft. The Irbis E radar can detect targets past 200 miles. It can outturn nearly anything flying today. Russia selling it to Iran was the geopolitical equivalent of handing nuke to someone who has spent a decade dreaming about using one. Karimi looks at that radar contact and sees one thing: history. He is going to be the first pilot alive to shoot down an F-22 Raptor. He fires the afterburner. The Su-35 punches through the sound barrier. The radar acquires the contact immediately, clean, consistent. 40 miles ahead, Karimi pushes harder. 30 miles, 10, everything in the cockpit reading green. Lock solid, targeting tone clear and steady. He needs visual confirmation. He wants to see it burn. 5 miles, 2 miles. A shape emerges from the haze ahead, gray, small. Karimi leans forward in his seat. What? It is a drone, he says out loud. Not even a dangerous one. An unmanned drone wingman. Basically a Roomba that got promoted several grades above its qualifications. It has one modification strapped to its frame, a radar reflector. Its entire purpose is to catch incoming radar energy and bounce it back in a pattern that reads like a much larger and significantly more threatening aircraft. Specifically, an F-22 Raptor. This drone has been running that impersonation for 43 minutes, and the Iranian fell for it. It costs the United States Air Force roughly the same as a decent used Honda Civic. The Su-35 that just chased it costs $150 million. Karimi stares at the drone through his canopy. He is giving himself a moment to process what has just happened to him professionally and spiritually. He crossed 100 miles of open airspace on full afterburner. He pulled enough G-force that he can still feel it in his spine. He performed the intercept run of his career on basically an aerial piñata. He comes up on the radio. I just burned a month's worth of jet fuel, 6 G-turns, and approximately 15 years off my spine chasing a store-bought RC plane. Ground control asks him to confirm the contact type. Karimi confirms. Ground control goes quiet. Karimi banks right. He starts the turn back toward base. He breathes disappointment, but in an instant, his radar warning receiver activates. Every threat tone his jet knows, all of them, simultaneously. His display floods red. The threat indicator points straight up, directly above him. He cranks the Su-35 hard left, maximum G, vision narrowing to a gray tunnel at the edges. The tone stays. He brakes right, dumps full chaff. The tone stays. He pulls nose high into a vertical defense maneuver that his instructors called textbook. The tone is not impressed. The lock does not move. There is something above him that his best radar cannot find. Here is what Karimi does not know yet. In any engagement where a pilot acquires a lock, the shot comes in seconds. Holding a lock without shooting is a decision. Something is being decided above him right now. And Karimi is beginning to think that what is being decided is not just whether he dies, but what his death or his survival is supposed to mean. He points straight up at maximum elevation and searches. Nothing. He searches again. Still nothing. That is because his opponent is an F-22. Now, the real one. The F-22 is operating at 15 miles altitude in the lower stratosphere. One of the specific things the Raptor can do that almost nothing else can. It has been up there since before Karimi's phone even rang. It watched him sprint to his aircraft, watched the afterburner light, watched the exact moment Karimi found the drone and understood what had happened to him. The entire time it had the shot. The entire time it held. Karimi throws every defensive maneuver his training gave him. Chaff, flares, high G brakes, the lock stays. The Iranian Air Force has no training scenario that covers an F-22 holding a weapons lock from the stratosphere while the pilot is still processing the emotional fallout of a drone intercept. That training gap is making itself extremely obvious right now. Then the tone stops. Not because Karimi's brakes worked. Not because the chaff confused anything. There is one thing that makes the targeting tone go silent. The missiles have left the rail. The radar lock releases. Because the weapons are now autonomous. They no longer need the aircraft. They are already in the air, already flying toward him. Karimi knows this. Every fighter pilot knows this. He has 8 seconds, maybe less. He braces. 1 second, 2, 5, 10, nothing comes. No detonation, no impact, no end. He starts shaking. Then one more signal, short, manual, coming from 15 miles directly above. A single infrared flare, blooming briefly in the high atmosphere, burning for 30 seconds, then gone. Karimi sits very still in his cockpit. The missiles are not coming, which means there were never any missiles, which means the targeting tone did not go silent because weapons went autonomous. It went silent because the F-22 dropped the lock on purpose. After holding it long enough to make absolutely certain Karimi was saying his last prayers. The flare is not a countermeasure. It is a sentence. It is saying, we were above you before you even got the call. We watched you run to your aircraft. We watched you find the drone. We had you locked the entire time. We chose this. Your country needs to surrender or else. Drive home safe.